Your kidneys filter over 50 gallons of blood every single day. That's more than 200 liters working nonstop to keep you alive. These two fist-sized organs never take a break. They're processing blood, removing waste, balancing minerals, and regulating fluid levels 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But right now, certain foods sitting in your kitchen are quietly damaging these vital organs. And the scary part? You won't feel it happening until it's too late. Today we're looking at 10 foods that researchers have identified as the most damaging to kidney health. Some of these will surprise you. Some you probably eat every day. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to avoid and what to do instead. Let's get into it. Before we jump into the list, here's something you need to understand about how kidneys work. Each kidney contains about 1 million tiny filters called nephrons. These microscopic structures are incredibly delicate and incredibly important. They process your blood, separate waste from nutrients, and maintain your body's chemical balance. This happens continuously, every moment of your life, without you ever thinking about it. But here's the disturbing part. You can lose up to 60% of your kidney function before you notice anything wrong. No pain, no obvious symptoms, just silent, progressive damage building up year after year. By the time most people realize something's wrong, significant permanent damage has already occurred. That's exactly why understanding what harms these organs right now, before problems develop, is so critical. All right, let's start with something most people completely overlook: bottled sauces and condiments. I'm talking about that barbecue sauce, ketchup, soy sauce, and salad dressing sitting in your fridge right now. These seem completely harmless. They're just adding a little flavor to your meals, right? Wrong. Pick up any bottle and check the label. A single tablespoon of some of these products contains 10 to 20% of your recommended daily sodium intake. But it's not just the salt that's the problem. These products are also packed with preservatives, artificial colors, thickeners, and flavor enhancers like MSG that your kidneys have to filter and process. You think you're just adding flavor to a healthy grilled chicken breast. What you're actually doing is pouring a concentrated chemical cocktail onto your food. And because these are condiments, people don't think about them. They focus on the main food and ignore what they're adding on top. Over time, this hidden sodium and these chemical additives add up significantly. The simple fix here is to make your own sauces when possible. It's easier than you think. Or at least switch to low-sodium versions and actually read those ingredient labels. Look for products with short ingredient lists you can actually pronounce. Now let's talk about something that sounds obvious, but most people don't fully understand: processed meats, hot dogs, deli meats, bacon, sausages, those frozen chicken nuggets, anything that's been heavily processed and packaged. You've probably heard that protein is hard on kidneys. Let me clear this up right now because it's widely misunderstood. Protein from natural, real meat? Your body is designed to handle that just fine. It produces nitrogen as a waste product that your kidneys filter, but that's normal and manageable. The problem with processed meat isn't the protein. It's everything else food manufacturers add to it. Phosphate-based preservatives to extend shelf life. Nitrates and nitrites to maintain color and prevent bacterial growth. And compounds created during processing that have chemical names I won't bore you with. These additives are aggressive to kidney tissue. They increase acid load in your body. They promote calcification, where calcium deposits where it shouldn't. And over time, they cause scarring and stiffening of kidney tissue. Here's the ironic part that confuses people. Your kidneys actually need protein to repair and maintain themselves. Kidney tissue is made of protein, so avoiding all protein because you're worried about your kidneys actually backfires. The solution is simple. Eat real, unprocessed meat, a grilled chicken breast, a steak, ground beef you cook yourself. Your kidneys can handle that beautifully. It's the chemically loaded processed versions you want to avoid. But hold on, because this next one might be sitting in your fridge right now. Energy drinks. These have absolutely exploded in popularity over the last decade. People drink them to power through long work days, stay alert during afternoon slumps, get that boost before the gym. They seem convenient and harmless. Here's what's actually happening inside your body. Most energy drinks contain 200 to 300 milligrams of caffeine per can. That's the equivalent of 3 to 4 cups of coffee compressed into one drink. Caffeine in high doses acts as a diuretic, meaning it makes you urinate more frequently. This leads to dehydration, which concentrates everything your kidneys need to filter. That's strike one. Strike two is the massive amount of sugar in regular energy drinks or artificial sweeteners in the sugar-free versions. Both are problematic in their own ways, and we'll get to why in a minute. And strike three? These drinks are absolutely loaded with other compounds: taurine, guarana, ginseng, and megadoses of B vitamins that are way beyond what your body needs. Your kidneys have to process all of this and eliminate the excess. So you're essentially asking your kidneys to work overtime filtering concentrated chemicals while simultaneously dehydrating them so they have less fluid to work with. That's a perfect recipe for kidney stress and damage. If you're relying on energy drinks regularly, that's usually a red flag that something else is wrong. Poor sleep quality, blood sugar imbalances, chronic stress, or nutritional deficiencies. Address those root causes instead of masking the problem with stimulants that damage your kidneys. Speaking of drinks, here's where it gets really interesting. Diet sodas. Millions of people switched from regular soda to diet versions thinking they were making a smart, healthy choice. And to be fair, you are avoiding sugar. But what you're doing is trading one serious problem for a different serious problem. Diet sodas are loaded with artificial sweeteners. The main culprits are aspartame, sucralose, and acesulfame K. These are synthetic chemicals your body doesn't recognize as food. Aspartame breaks down into methanol in your digestive system, which then converts to formaldehyde. Yes, the same formaldehyde used to preserve biological specimens and dead bodies. It also produces formic acid, another toxic compound. Sucralose directly interferes with how the tubules in your kidneys function. These tubules are responsible for filtering and reabsorbing nutrients. When they're not working properly, your kidneys can't do their job efficiently. Acesulfame K accumulates in kidney tissue itself. It doesn't get fully eliminated. Over time, it causes damage to cellular energy production and creates oxidative stress. All three of these sweeteners are directly toxic to kidney cells. They progressively degrade kidney tissue with regular consumption. And beyond the sweeteners, diet sodas also contain phosphoric acid, which contributes to problems we're about to discuss. If you're drinking diet soda daily, thinking it's harmless because the label says 0 calories and 0 sugar, understand that your kidneys are absolutely paying a price for that convenience. The solution? Just drink water. If plain water is too boring, add a squeeze of lemon or lime. Get a water infuser and add cucumber or berries. Your taste buds will adjust within a week or two. All right, this next one is more technical, but it's really important, so stay with me. Foods that are loaded with phosphate. Now, phosphate itself isn't inherently evil. In fact, phosphate and calcium together are the main minerals that make up your bones and teeth. You need some phosphate, but here's where the problem comes in. Food manufacturers add inorganic phosphates to thousands upon thousands of processed foods as preservatives and texture enhancers. You'll find these in processed cheese products, especially those individually wrapped cheesy slices, sodas, frozen meals, packaged baked goods, and fast food. And here's the critical difference that changes everything. When you eat natural phosphate from whole, real foods like meat, fish, dairy, or vegetables, your intestines absorb only about 30 to 40% of it. That's what humans evolved to handle over hundreds of thousands of years. Your body has mechanisms in place to limit phosphate absorption to healthy levels. But these artificial inorganic phosphates added to processed foods, your body absorbs up to 90% of them. That's more than double the normal rate. So you're flooding your system with way more phosphate than nature ever intended, and that excess has to go somewhere. It gets deposited in soft tissues where it doesn't belong. It accumulates in your arteries, contributing to heart disease. And it deposits in your kidneys. Over time, your kidney tissue literally starts to calcify and harden from the inside out. This creates a condition called renal osteodystrophy, where kidney function progressively declines. The fix here requires being a detective with food labels. Look at the ingredients list, not just the nutrition facts. If you see any ingredient with the word phosphate in it, that's your red flag. Sodium phosphate, calcium phosphate, phosphoric acid. Any of these indicate added inorganic phosphates. Choose fresh whole foods whenever possible, and your body will naturally regulate phosphate to healthy levels. Now this next one surprises almost everyone I talk to. Fruit juice. It comes from fruit, so it must be healthy, right? That's what the marketing wants you to believe. But here's what actually happens when you turn whole fruit into juice. First, you remove all the fiber. Fiber is what slows down sugar absorption and helps regulate blood sugar. Without it, that sugar hits your system fast and hard. Second, you're concentrating the sugar from multiple pieces of fruit into a single glass. 1 glass of orange juice contains the sugar equivalent of 4 to 5 whole oranges, but without any of the fiber or bulk that would normally make you stop eating after 1 or 2 pieces of fruit. Apple juice, grape juice, cranberry juice, and especially those juice blends marketed as healthy morning drinks can contain as much sugar as soda. Some contain even more. That concentrated fructose hits your liver rapidly. Your liver processes it and creates uric acid as a byproduct. Uric acid forms sharp, jagged crystals. These crystals are abrasive and damaging. Your kidneys have to filter them out, and in the process, those crystals can cause inflammation, tissue damage, and contribute to kidney stone formation. The irony here is striking. Eating whole fruit is generally fine for most people. The fiber content moderates sugar absorption. The physical bulk of eating whole fruit means you naturally stop after 1 or 2 pieces. Your body can handle that. But juice removes all those natural protective mechanisms. It lets you consume massive amounts of concentrated sugar in seconds. If you enjoy the taste of fruit, eat the actual fruit. Your kidneys, your liver, and your pancreas will all handle that so much better. Save juice for rare occasions, if at all. Let's talk about alcohol. Everyone knows that excessive alcohol consumption is harmful, but let's understand exactly what it does to your kidneys specifically. First, and most obviously, alcohol is a diuretic. It causes dehydration by making you urinate more than the fluid you're taking in. When you're dehydrated, there's less fluid available for your kidneys to use for filtration. This causes waste products and toxins to become more concentrated, making them harder to process and more damaging to kidney tissue. Second, when your liver breaks down alcohol, one of the metabolic byproducts is uric acid. Remember those sharp, abrasive crystals we keep mentioning? Alcohol consumption directly increases uric acid production. These crystals damage kidney tissue, cause inflammation, and can precipitate into kidney stones. And here's where it compounds. If you're drinking mixed cocktails with sugary mixers, you're combining alcohol with high fructose ingredients. Both produce uric acid independently, so together they create even more kidney stress. Beer presents its own additional problem because it contains purines, compounds that your body also converts into uric acid, so beer drinkers often end up with even higher uric acid levels than people drinking other forms of alcohol. Now, moderate alcohol consumption, we're talking 1 drink occasionally, might be manageable if your kidneys are currently healthy and you're otherwise taking care of them. But regular heavy drinking progressively damages kidney tissue in ways that aren't reversible. There's just no way around that biological reality. Now we're getting into the really serious territory. Industrial seed oils. I'm talking about soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, any of these vegetable oils produced on an industrial scale. These oils are in almost every processed food you can possibly buy. Chips, crackers, cookies, salad dressings, mayonnaise, frozen meals, restaurant fried foods. They're absolutely everywhere in the modern food supply. Here's what you need to understand about how these oils are made. To extract oil from seeds, which don't naturally want to give up their oil easily, food manufacturers use extreme heat, intense mechanical pressure, and often chemical solvents, like hexane. This violent industrial extraction process damages the delicate fatty acid structures in the oil at a molecular level. The oils oxidize and create toxic breakdown products called aldehydes. These aldehyde compounds are poisonous. They shouldn't be in food at any level. They're directly toxic to cells throughout your body, and kidney cells are particularly vulnerable. These damaged, oxidized oils damage the glomeruli, which are the microscopic filtering units in your kidneys. They cause progressive scarring in the tubules, the tiny tubes that reabsorb nutrients and water. Over years of regularly consuming foods cooked in these industrial seed oils, your kidney filtration capacity slowly but surely declines. Now compare this to traditional fats that humans have eaten for millennia: butter from grass-fed cows, extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, animal fats like tallow or lard from healthy animals. Your body recognizes these fats. Your digestive system and cellular machinery evolved to process them efficiently. They're chemically stable. They don't break down into toxic compounds when heated. They provide the fatty acids your body actually needs. The switch here is straightforward, but requires some attention. When you're cooking at home, use real fats: butter, ghee, olive oil, coconut oil, even animal fats if you're cooking meat. When you're eating out or buying packaged foods, understand that they almost certainly contain industrial seed oils. That doesn't mean you can never eat these foods. It means being aware and limiting how often these items make up your diet. Cook more meals at home, where you control the ingredients. Your kidneys will function better over the long term. Here's another factor that's in virtually everything processed: high-sodium foods without adequate potassium balance. We're talking packaged snacks, canned soups, frozen dinners, deli meats, fast food, basically the entire center aisles of the grocery store. These foods are obviously salty. Everyone knows they're high in sodium, but here's the piece most people completely miss. The problem isn't really salt by itself. Your body needs sodium. It's an essential mineral involved in hundreds of biological processes. The real problem is consuming large amounts of sodium without adequate potassium to balance it. Sodium and potassium work together in your cells. They're like two sides of a scale that need to be balanced. When you eat whole, natural foods, you naturally get more potassium than sodium. That's what the human body evolved eating. But modern processed foods flip this ratio completely. They're loaded with added sodium and almost completely depleted of potassium. When this ratio gets thrown off, your kidneys have to work exponentially harder to maintain proper balance. Your body retains more fluid to dilute the excess sodium. This fluid retention increases blood volume. More blood volume means higher blood pressure. That elevated pressure forces blood through your kidneys with more force, which over time damages the delicate capillaries and filtering structures inside. The solution here isn't to become paranoid about salt. It's to ensure you're getting adequate potassium. Leafy green vegetables, avocados, potatoes, squash. Real whole foods are naturally high in potassium. When you eat these foods regularly, your body can handle reasonable amounts of sodium without problem. The ratio is what matters. Our ancestors ate diets with a potassium to sodium ratio of about 10:1 or even higher. Modern processed diets often have ratios of 1:2 or worse. We've literally inverted what our kidneys are designed to handle. Fix the ratio by eating more whole foods, and your kidneys will manage sodium just fine. And now we've arrived at the number one most damaging factor for kidney health: sugar and fructose specifically. This includes regular sodas, sweetened beverages of all kinds, candy, desserts, baked goods, breakfast cereals, granola bars, flavored yogurts, basically anything with added sugar. And when I say sugar, I'm including regular white sugar, brown sugar, high fructose corn syrup, agave nectar, which is actually extremely high in fructose, and yes, even honey when consumed in excess. Most people understand that sugar is problematic because it spikes blood glucose, triggers insulin release, and contributes to insulin resistance and diabetes over time. All of that is true and important, but that's actually only part of the story when it comes to kidney damage. The most direct and severe damage comes specifically from the fructose component of sugar. Let me explain why this matters. Table sugar, what scientists call sucrose, is a molecule made of two simple sugars bonded together. It's 50% glucose and 50% fructose. High fructose corn syrup varies, but is usually around 55% fructose. Agave nectar, often marketed as a healthier natural sweetener, can be up to 80 or even 90% fructose. So what's the big deal about fructose specifically? Here's the critical difference. Glucose can be used directly by almost every cell in your body for energy. Your muscles use it. Your brain uses it. It's a universal fuel. But fructose is different. Fructose can only be metabolized by your liver. Only the liver has the enzymes needed to process it, and the metabolic pathway for breaking down fructose is energetically expensive. When your liver processes fructose, it has to use up ATP, which is your body's energy currency molecule. Breaking down ATP creates waste products. The backbone structure of ATP contains a component called adenosine. When adenosine is broken down, it produces uric acid. And this is the part that shocks most people when they first learn it. Uric acid is typically associated with eating too much protein, or specifically too much red meat. Most people think of it as a problem caused by diet high in animal products, but the truth is that consuming sugar, especially fructose, is one of the fastest and most direct ways to spike uric acid levels in your body. This uric acid gets released into your bloodstream. It travels to your kidneys where it must be filtered out. And here's where the real damage occurs. Uric acid doesn't stay dissolved in fluid very well. It tends to crystallize, forming sharp, jagged, microscopic crystals. These crystals are highly abrasive and irritating to tissue. When they form in your kidneys, they cause direct mechanical damage to the delicate filtering structures. They trigger inflammation. They contribute to the formation of kidney stones. And over time, they cause scarring and permanent loss of kidney function. These uric acid crystals also deposit in joints, which is what causes gout, that extremely painful form of arthritis. People who suffer from gout and kidney stones often have one thing in common: high fructose consumption. Not necessarily high protein consumption, like conventional wisdom suggests, but high sugar and fructose consumption. Now, does this mean you can never have anything sweet ever again? Of course not. Context and amount matter enormously. If you have healthy metabolism and occasionally eat a piece of fruit or a small amount of honey, your body can absolutely handle that. The fiber in whole fruit slows absorption. The quantities are reasonable. Your liver processes it without overwhelming stress. But when you're regularly drinking sweetened beverages, eating desserts multiple times per week, snacking on candy and baked goods, and consuming processed foods with hidden added sugars, the fructose load adds up rapidly. This creates chronically elevated uric acid levels, and that sustained elevation causes progressive cumulative damage to your kidneys year after year. By the time symptoms develop, by the time lab tests show declining kidney function, substantial permanent damage has already occurred. The single most impactful change most people can make for kidney health is dramatically reducing added sugar and fructose consumption, not in a restrictive, miserable way, but by being conscious of where sugar is hiding in your diet and making deliberate swaps. Drink water or unsweetened beverages instead of soda and juice. Choose whole fruits instead of desserts most of the time. Read labels and avoid products where sugar or corn syrup are in the first 3 ingredients. These changes alone can dramatically reduce the burden on your kidneys. So what should you do with all this information? First and most important, don't panic. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to eliminate every single food on this list immediately starting tomorrow. That's not realistic, and it's not necessary. Small, sustainable changes made consistently over time create the biggest positive impact on your health. Start by picking 1 or 2 items from this list that you know you consume regularly. Maybe you're drinking diet soda every day. Swap that for water with lemon. Maybe you're using bottled sauces on everything. Try making a simple homemade version or switch to a cleaner brand. Maybe you're relying on energy drinks to get through afternoons. Address why you're tired in the first place instead of masking it with stimulants. The beautiful thing about kidneys is they're remarkably resilient when you give them what they need and stop poisoning them with what they don't. They have tremendous capacity to heal and recover if you catch problems early enough. But they're also working for you every single moment of every day, processing everything you consume with no breaks and no time off. They deserve your attention and care. If you found this information valuable and it helped you understand kidney health better, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss future videos, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Share it with your parents, your siblings, your friends. Most people have absolutely no idea that their daily eating habits are silently damaging their kidneys. You could literally help someone avoid serious kidney disease years down the road by simply sharing this video. Take care of those kidneys. They're taking care of you.